All right, well, this is going to be the season end wrap-up video on the 503 swapped 85 Safari. Was it worth it? Basically, we'll get right to the point here. Was it worth it? Did I waste my time, or did I wind up with something that I felt like is worth the effort? Well, you know what? There's a couple different ways you could look at that. You could look at it from an economic standpoint. Was it worth it economically? You know something? It almost never is. How much did I pay for it? I think I paid like $200 or $300 for the sled. And that was a riding sled that I was going to part out, but I wound up keeping it and riding it instead of parting it out. So we'll say I've got $250 in it because I really don't remember how much I paid for it. Okay, so $250 for the sled. I think, I've probably got a couple $100 in the motor for the work and the rebuild kit and everything else like that. So we'll call that $200. So that's $550 plus some other odds and ends. I didn't spend a whole lot of money on new parts on this thing. I think the only new parts I bought were a belt and motor mounts. I think that was it. Well, other than the engine rebuild kit. But, so what have I got in it? I have $600, something like that. Is this a $600 sled? I don't know. You tell me. Maybe to some people it is. Maybe to some people it isn't. It's worth it to me. I enjoy it. So, I didn't mind putting that much money into it. Didn't bother me that much. Was it worth it from a performance standpoint? Yeah, I think so. Because this engine isn't tuned optimally just yet. Now, if you look closely, you see there's no oil injection tank in here. There basically isn't room for one now. So this is running premix. I'm running somewhere between 48 and 50 to 1. And what that means is that since this is an oil injection engine, these carburetors were not jetted to move oil. They were jetted to move only gasoline. Well, since I got a premix in here, the gasoline is now diluted with a little bit of oil going through the carbs. So the engine isn't seeing quite as much actual gasoline as it was when it had oil injection. So that means I'm probably going to jet the carburetors up. Probably not much. Size or two, maybe. I was kind of hoping I could get away with not doing that. That was the whole idea of using, the stock exhaust and cramming the stock airbox in there, which meant swapping out the steering post. Just, one thing led to another. But that was the idea, was to avoid jetting. But, okay, so we're going to have to jet the carbs. No big deal. It still ran just fine. I had absolutely zero issues with this sled this year. I didn't put tons of miles on it, and I unfortunately got one video out of it. But it, I rode it a bunch of times. Just hop on it, ride to the store for a soda, and ride back. Did that a bunch of times, and it never let me down. It rode just fine. Never had an issue with it. So, was it worth it from that standpoint? Yeah, because I wound up with a usable sled. That is, in fact, a little bit faster than it was. Could be even faster if I do some jetting changes, and if I go through the clutching and clean that all up. If it's got any idlers under here that are kind of stiff and not turning, that could slow it down. Track it out of alignment, it could slow it down a little. So, there's some things that could be done, to maybe, help the performance out a little bit. But I think in general, once I get that all dialed out, oh yeah, it'll be faster. With the 377 in it, this thing topped out about 60, flat out across the field. Give it 15, 20 seconds to kind of get up to speed. Yeah, probably about 60. I was hitting 60 on this, not even running full throttle. I was, 3/4 throttle. It was pushing 60 miles an hour. So, I'm definitely thinking this is probably good for about 70 now. Maybe we can improve that with some gearing changes. Maybe we can change that up. But so performance-wise, was it worth it? Yeah, I think so. I think so. Was it worth it from the standpoint of, here's a challenge, can I pull it off? Oh, most definitely. Worth it all day long. Would I do it again? Yeah, I probably would. But the point being that, this all started with a what if. Actually, a couple of what ifs. I brought this sled home initially thinking to part it out, and it had that 377 in it, and I had my old Olympic, my 76 Olympic, which is under that blue tarp over there, that had a blown up 340. So I thought, well, what if I put that 377 in the Olympic? And at the same time, I thought, well, okay, now my Safari doesn't have an engine. What would I do there? Well, what if I found a 503 and put a 503 in this? And just by dumb luck, within like a week or two of doing that, of coming to that kind of conclusion that I wanted to do it, I saw an ad on Craigslist for a pair of 89 Safaris, 89 Safari Venture and an 89 Safari Escapade, both with 503s, one running, one complete but not. And I still have that other one that's sitting over there. That's the Escapade with a 503, and it also has a reverse in it, which I also thought maybe I might try to put in this at some point. I mean, we'll see about that. Because if I put reverse in it, I'm going to have to, use reversible skis. So we'll see how that all goes. But it was honestly within like 2 weeks of deciding to put this 377 in the Olympic that I saw that ad for those other two sleds. So it all kind of came together. And putting this engine in this sled was not that difficult. Just re-drilling the engine plate, being very careful about side-to-side placement, keeping everything nice and centered, nice and straight. And I had that one, I don't know if you can see this or not, but that one stud down there, you can see how it's not quite fully on the plate. I was expecting a failure point there, and I didn't. It hasn't failed yet. It's still holding together. So, and this is also running the belt that was in this chassis when I got it. This is the same belt that I was running with the 377. And it's, it's not bad. It's holding up. And the clutch engagement is good. It doesn't do anything weird. It comes in nice and smooth. It seems to be normal. So, from the standpoint of, gee, I wonder if I could do that, totally worth it. Totally worth it. From the learning experience and the confidence building, and then, I've seen the inside of that motor, and I've since had it out on the trails and ridden it a whole bunch of miles, and I have confidence in it. So definitely worth it. Worth it all day long on that. So, but you know what? The season's ending. Winter's kind of gasping out. So we're putting it up. We're going to put it away. Going to drain the gas out of it, oil the engine, cover it up, and get it ready for next year. And it should be ready to go. I probably am going to have to go under some stuff down here and pull the skid out and, go over it, make sure everything's working properly under here. But I think this track is okay for another season or two. I might put some studs in it. So we won't have to worry about that for a little while. If I can get a new one, I might. We'll see. The availability on new tracks for these is they do make them, or they did make them. And apparently they're going to, but, not right now. So, but anyway, that's the update on the 85 Safari 503 swap. Yeah, I think it was worth it. I'd do it again. But anyway, thanks for listening to this long ramble. Appreciate you watching. Have a great day.